Trying to adopt without an agency in 2022? In today's video, we're going to cover 3 tips on how you can be successful self-matching your adoption in 2022. In case we haven't met yet, my name is Amanda, and I'm an adoptive mom of 2 on a mission to make your adoption easier, faster, and more affordable. One of the ways that I do that is through videos like this. So I release new videos each and every week, so make sure that you click the little subscribe icon and click the bell to be notified each and every time I release a new episode. First, before we dive into today's episode, I want to take just a minute to acknowledge what is really happening in the adoption world. We're hearing stories all the time of agencies closing their doors and people being out tens of thousands of dollars just overnight, or agencies telling people that it's going to be 3 years or longer before they even get the opportunity to be considered. And not even to mention all of the debate around the vaccination status and whether or not you have to be vaccinated in order to pursue partnering with one of these agencies. And more of us are considering self-matching. But I know a lot of us are really worried about self-matching because we're just really not sure how to do it. Because, they're not an adoption lawyer or they don't work in marketing for a living. And so they're really concerned about how they can actually pursue their dreams of adoption in today's, kind of post-pandemic world. So I want to make sure that we speak very clearly, friend. Adoption is hard, and it can be harder when you're self-matching. But I'm a firm believer that anything is possible with the right plan and support. I teach you on the YouTube and in the Facebook page or the Facebook group, as well as through courses and one-to-one work on how to self-match your adoption. That really has become my zone of genius outside of my 20-year marketing career. I have a real passion for you being able to be the director, if you will, of your adoption journey as much as you can, because there is still so much outside of your control, so that you can make your adoption more affordable, friend. I believe that our industry really has an opportunity to have a reset moment, and maybe this is it. So let's dive into 3 tips on how you can have a successful self-matching adoption in 2022, okay? All right. So the first thing is you need to have a clear vision of where you're headed, friend. You need to really understand what is in front of you and the step-by-step process to get there. Again, adoption is hard, but if you have a clear understanding of where you're headed, it is going to be so much easier when those days are bleak to stay focused on that. It's also going to be so much easier for you to make a well-informed decision when opportunities arise for you in your adoption. I don't know if you've done much research on what the difference between vision and goals are, but I'm kind of obsessed with this a little bit. So your goal is to adopt. Your vision is really what does life look like that keeps you strong in reaching that goal. But you're only going to reach that goal if you have the step-by-step support and process that you need in order to get there. There is kind of a popular fact out there that came from Inc. magazine through a study with the University of Michigan, and it says that only 8% of people reach their goals. And the difference that those 8% of people have is really that they have somebody showing them step by step, holding them accountable. They're making space in their life to achieve those goals, and they are actively working a process or a procedure in order to reach those goals. So friend, the very first, tip for you in having a successful adoption in 2022 is not only having a vision for your adoption, but then step number 2 is really having a partner in that step-by-step process with you. And if you're just starting your self-matching journey, you may be a little concerned at I don't know what to do. I don't know what comes next and where to go from here. So if you're just starting, don't worry. I've always got your back. I have a free training that you can check out. It's located at myadoptioncoach.com/self-match training. And in there, I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step process that you need to follow in order to successfully self-match your adoption. The first step is always legal research. because again, you have to do everything in your power to make sure that you are abiding by the law so that you're not putting anything at jeopardy whenever you're going through the self-matching process. So if you're just starting out and you're really not sure where to go, or you're confused on like, I think I know this is the process, but I'm not positive, head on over there. Again, I have a real desire to help each and every one of you achieve your dreams of adoption. And I want to work through that specifically with you one-to-one. So head on over to the Facebook group and let's work through that, shall we? Okay, the third and final tip for having a successful self-matching adoption in 2022 is having an amazing adoption profile that helps you create an emotional connection with your ideal expectant mother. Okay, I know there was a lot kind of crammed into that one little sentence, so let's talk about it and break it out a little bit more. So, creating an emotional connection really is what's going to help you stand out from the sea of waiting families. When she can clearly see what life is like with your family versus another family, she's naturally going to gravitate towards the family that feels like the best fit for her and her situation. And I talked a little bit about your ideal expectant mother there. I'm a firm believer that not every adoption situation is right for every party. I think there is the right mix of expectant parents for hopeful adoptive parents that have the same ideals, that want the same thing for this child as they continue to grow and learn. And I'm so passionate about this because I have a 20-year, career in marketing. So I really understand what it takes to clearly communicate your message to your intended audience so that you make an emotional connection. And that really is what's happening here in the adoption journey. You are making an emotional connection over the life that you envision for this child at the end of this adoption journey, for the life that you envision for the two of your families to have together or not through this adoption journey. So again, it all ties back to having a clear vision and being able to clearly communicate that to your intended audience. And if marketing is not your jam, friend, don't worry. I totally have your back. As always, I'm going to be hosting some free live trainings together, and you can head on over to myadoptioncoach.com/social media training, and you can grab your seat in one of the free live trainings that's coming up. And as always, if you have any questions, you can jump into the Facebook group at any time or just leave a comment below on the YouTube channel. I answer everything personally, and I answer everything about every single day, friend. All right, so I really trust that you found a lot of value in today's conversation, that you feel really confident that it is possible for you to achieve your self-matching goals in 2022 by the tips that we talked about here, about having a clear vision of where you're headed, having a step-by-step process of exactly what to do in order to facilitate your self-matching, and by the way, save yourself tens of thousands of dollars, right? Because you're not using an adoption agency, but then also on how to clearly communicate your family story. And don't forget to grab that link to the free training, because that training is going to be amazing. It is really going to help you feel confident that you're sharing your version of your family the way that you really want to communicate and create an emotional connection with your ideal expectant mother. So if you are still wanting to learn more about self-matching your adoption, make sure and check out any of these videos, because I know they're really going to help you. And we have a full playlist on the YouTube channel as well, so that you can check out all of the other videos. And in the podcast, just go back a few episodes and you'll see an entire list of self-matching your adoption podcasts as well. Remember, friend, anything's possible with the right plan and support, and I've always got your back with the step-by-step process and support you need on your adoption journey. I'll talk to you soon, friend.